What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel, and for today's video we've got some more new cards coming out of Cyberstorm Access. In fact, for this video we have 7. I believe we are now, I believe after this video we have 4 more cards left to talk about on the channel, and then once the TCG has the release date for Cyberstorm Access, that's when the OCG imports and the world premiere cards will be coming in. So I will be talking about those cards at some point as far as the imports and the world premiere cards. I don't know exactly when, because I believe this set is supposed to come out within the next month or so. So it's gonna be interesting to say the very least. But hopefully you guys are ready for this video. If you guys are, and you guys want to see more videos like this in the future, which get posted on Tuesdays and sometimes on weekends, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, follow me on all of my social media. Links will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. Let's kick things off with a brand new pendulum monster known as Pendulum Moon. I believe how it's supposed to be pronounced. It is a 1-star light spellcaster pendulum, obviously. 200 attack, 700 defense, with a pen scale of 0, and the pendulum effect is a once per turn, and the monster effect is a once per turn. The pendulum effect reads: during your main phase, you can add a face-up pendulum monster from your X deck to your hand, then destroy this card. So this is basically a way to just reset your to reset your pendulum scale to just go full combo. So pendulum decks are probably gonna abuse the living fuck out of this card, and I'm surprised that most of the pendulum decks, most of the components for the pendulum deck are now legal. It's so hard to believe. I think Skullcrab Joker had recently gotten taken off the list recently, and yeah, it ain't gonna be pretty. It ain't gonna be pretty. Although to be fair, Pepe has all the deck is way past its prime. And if you guys are wondering about Pepe, it was short for Pendulum Performage, I believe it was, where it utilized the Performapal pendulum monsters and the Performage monsters to basically just combo up into a board where you basically have at least 7 negates and 5 disruptions on board and in hand. That was basically what Pepe was about, and woo-hoo-hoo, that was quite the deck back in the day. Quite the deck. But so yeah, this card is definitely going to be abused by a bunch of different pendulum decks. I'm not so sure if I should build it though. That's kind of up for debate. But the monster effect reads: if you have 2 cards in your pendulum zone, you can add up to 2 face-up pendulum monsters from your X deck to your hand, each with a level between exclusive the pendulum scales of the cards in your pendulum zone. So I believe it's supposed to be the pendulum scales. So that's actually pretty cool. Of the cards in your pendulum zone, and for the rest of the turn, unless you pendulum summon after this effect resolves, you cannot activate monster effects, and the effects of any cards in your pendulum zones, and the effects of any cards in your pendulum zones are negated. Oh, that's okay. So this basically locks you out. It just locks you out of triggering any effects. The problem is that even though it's not a when effect, it can still miss timing because of the fact that even though Artifact Scythe is now banned, people can still run the Buster Lock. They can still run the Buster Lock as sort of like a side deck package where it would lock you out of not only special summoning from said extra deck, but also adding cards from the extra deck to your hand, which is a bit unfortunate. So, how would I put this? If I were to build a pen deck and I ran this card, I would probably put this at only 2. Reason being is because if you put it at 3, it's probably going to be a brick. So, yeah, and I don't think it's that good after reading the monster effect, but it could be interesting to say the very least. Next up we have oh god, what the hell? We have excuse me, we have Ringo Worm, the 100 Apple Dragon. What the bruh. What the fuck is that name? What the fuck? There has to be a note here. Okay, I thought... What? Okay, that I totally get. There's a note underneath the effect of this card that reads that Ringo is Japanese for apple. I get that. But Ringo Worm? What? Okay, that's... Apple Worm... Why not just name it Apple Worm, the 100 Apple Dragon or something like that? I don't know. Konami's weird. Konami is weird. Let's see. 2-star Light Dragon Tuner, 100 attack, 1100 defense, and both of its effects are once per turn. First effect reads: if there's a face-up non-effect monster on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. During the turn, you synchro summon a synchro monster. You can banish the card from your grave, summon 100 Apple Token, which is a 2-star Light Worm, 100 attack and defense, and if the token is used as synchro material, it can be treated as a tuner. That's not bad. So Dragon Lanes can actually abuse this card. Funny enough, although to be fair, I think the Guard Dragons are still. I think Guard Dragon LP and Agripane are still banned. So it's a bit of a... So it would be a bit of a toss-up, but any like dragon-based deck that has a bunch of synchros can actually abuse this card. And what's cool about this is that it's a Cyber Dragon token summon on a 2-star body, which is actually not that bad. It's not that bad. I'm not other than like dragon based decks, I don't know what other decks could abuse this card. Maybe Blue Eyes? I think Blue Eyes can actually abuse this card, because Blue Eyes White Dragon is a non-effect monster, because it's a fucking vanilla. So Blue Eyes plus this card, you can instantly go into a Baron, no problem. That's actually not bad. I might have to try that out in my Blue Eyes deck. That's not bad. Blue Eyes can... Who knows? Who knows, guys? Blue Eyes could potentially abuse it, so that ain't too bad. Next up, we have... Oh, God. Oh, fuck. Speaking of weird names, we have Yukai Narin no Kitsunbe Urara. I'm actually gonna do something real quickly. I want to try something. I'm actually gonna look up the name of that, how that's supposed to be pronounced, or the translation, I guess. Let's see. Google Translate. Let's look up the name, shall we? Alrighty, let's have a look. And I apologize if I take a while. The laptop is just being weird. Okay, so it's supposed to be, so Yukai Narin no Kitsunebi Yurara is Japanese for Happy Force Foxfire Yurara. Okay, that's actually, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so we're gonna call it the Happy Force Foxfire Yurara. So Happy Force Foxfire Yurara is a 3-star fire warrior, which is kind of crazy. With 200 attack, 1900 defense. The second effect is a once per turn. The first effect reads, all face-up monsters on the field become fire. Second effect reads, if this card is in your grave and your opponent has a fire monster on the field, or in their graveyard, you can special summon this card. That's actually pretty nuts. That's actually pretty nuts, because I believe Volcanic's Fire Fist, Salmon Great can also abuse this card because they're all fire and they can force, and it basically acts as a sort of a DNA transplant, but for fires. That's actually pretty. Excuse me. That's actually pretty good. That's pretty good. This is essentially a floodgate. This is essentially a floodgate, especially if you have a field spell in your deck that focuses on all fire attributes, on mostly the fire attribute. This card can essentially be a fucking floodgate. That is horrifying to see. That is horrifying. Even also, Battling Boxers can also abuse that card, but the problem is that it's a 3-star monster, and the only rank 3 that could be summoned using this card, using that card would probably have to be, what was it, Cheat Commissioner, and nobody even runs Cheat Commissioner anymore in Battling Boxer. That's kind of sad, but that's actually pretty cool. Next up we have Sakitama, which is a 4-star light fairy. Spirit, actually, so we have new spirit support, funny enough. 400 attack, 900 defense, cannot be special summon, you can only, and the first and third effects are once per turn. First effect reads, you can reveal this card in your hand, immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon a spirit monster from your hand. Okay, not bad. Or actually, all 3 of its effects are once per turn. Second effect reads, once per turn during the end phase, if this card was normal summon or flip summon, this turn return it to the hand. If this card is tributed, this is the third effect. If this card is tributed, you can target a spirit monster in your grave, add it to your hand. Okay, so this basically just ensures that Yatagarasu is live, and you can just essentially just attack your opponent. Attack your opponent with the fucking Yata lock, and they can't do shit. To be fair. Oh, by the way, shout out to Starbucks for the iced coffee, not the cold brew. Unfortunately, yesterday I went to Starbucks yesterday, and their cold brew machine was not working. But it is what it is. But shout out to Starbucks, not sponsored at all. But so back to this. So interestingly enough, nobody runs the spirit monsters anymore. I think I think back in the day it was like Tsukiyomi, Yatagarasu, and like one other card was used in goat decks and chaos decks and whatnot. And that was it. that was it back in the day. Nowadays, nobody even runs those cards. Nobody even plays those cards anymore. I'm not so sure if the Spirit deck could ever see competitive play in 2023. I'm not so sure, but this is a bit of an odd one because obviously, yes, you are allowed to normal summon, but just by revealing this card in your hand, and then if you tribute it off to summon a card like say Hino say Hino Kagusuchi or Yamada Dragon or whatever, you can actually target Yada if it's in your graveyard, add it back to your hand, summon out Yada next turn, and just keep attacking, and then just have cards like Raigeki, Harpy's Feather Duster, or even also Lightning Storm. You can also run that card as well, and then have other cards, like Swords of Revealing Light, or even Gravity Bind, or just any floodgate that your opponent can't out for the most part. So it's an okay card, but still it's half decent, I'll say. Next up we have Harvest Angel of Doom, which is a 4-star Dark Fairy Pendulum with 1800 attack, 1000 defense. Its pendulum skill is 8. The pen effect is a once per turn. The monster effect, both of its monster effects are once per turn. The pendulum effect reads, during your main phase you can destroy this card and add 1 Black Horn of Heaven from your deck to your hand. Okay, now we know that Black Horn of Heaven and Horn of Heaven are potentially going to be coming back. Probably not. This is definitely a gimmicky. This is definitely a gimmicky card, hands down. If you ever see the names of cards from the DM era, you know damn well it's going to be a gimmicky card and nobody's going to be playing it. So it is what it is. Let's see the monster effect. The first effect reads, if this card is normal or pendulum summon, you can add 1 Horn of Heaven from your deck to your hand. Second effect reads, if this card is tributed, you can place it in your pendulum zone. Yeah, this is definitely a gimmicky card. There are so many drawbacks to it. Number one, nobody even runs Horn of Heaven or Black Horn of Heaven anymore. They used to run it during what was it, Reaper Monarch, during the days of Reaper Monarch. So it was a bit of a interesting tech, but this is definitely a gimmicky card. Not the best. Next up we have full active Duprex. And funny enough, they captioned it. YG Org actually captioned it saying "Two-Headed King Rex returns." That's hilarious. It's a 9-star Wind Cyburst, 2800 attack, 1000 defense. The first and third effects are once per turn. The first effect reads, you can banish 2 Link monsters from your grave. Special summon this card from your hand. Nice little Cyber Dragon at the cost of banishing 2 Links from the grave, which is okay, but still. Second effect reads, your linked monsters can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. So this basically makes your monsters gain the Cyber Twin Dragon effect, which is pretty cool. Third effect reads, if this card is sent to the grave, you can target 1 Cyber's monster you control. It gains 1000 attack. Okay, so this is definitely another one of those like gimmicky cards, where you're probably not gonna see this card get played. Even if you did see it get played, it would probably just be like a one-of or something. Just because there are so many better cards than this. So it is what it is. But we now move on to the last card of today's video, which is known which, if it can scroll down, which is known as the Boundless Open Land, which is a field spell, and it actually works with the Fallen of Albaz storyline, which is pretty cool. The effect reads: if your opponent special summons a Ritual, Fusion, Synchro, Exceeds, and or League monster, you can activate one of these effects, but you can only use each effect of this card's name once per turn. Add one Fallen of Albaz or a monster that mentions it from your deck to your hand. Special summon Fallen of Albaz or a monster that mentions it from your hand. So it's basically a Rhoda / Cyber Dragon, which is pretty cool. And what's interesting is that there's a note underneath that reads: this card's name is a reference to how the continent of Abyss was originally described as the start of the story, a land cut off from the rest of the world. Now it is a world freed and open with endless possibilities for the future. There's also a second note here that says, as a note, this is the first time it appears Yu-Gi-Oh's long format themes haven't had a tragic or bittersweet ending. That's actually kind of cool. That's actually kind of cool. I believe this might be the last of the Fallen of Albaz storyline, where basically it's like the end. I guess everything is good for everything, I guess. I don't know. I'm not so sure. Because I know that with the World Chalice storyline, I think it had some sort of like tragic ending to it or something like that. I know that the, what was it, Mekk-Knights? Somewhere around there, one of those archetypes had like sort of like a tragic ending. I could be wrong, but still, that's pretty cool. Being able to either add or special summon Fallen of Albaz from your hand, from or to your hand, is actually pretty good. I will admit, this is a bit of an interesting, interesting card. So the question now becomes: is it going to get played? Are we going to see this card get played at all? It's a very high possibility. This will probably be mostly a 2-of, just because of the fact that the Fallen of Albaz decks have better field spells than this card, but only time will tell. But speaking of Albaz, that brings me to the question of the day, which is this. What are your guys' thoughts on this new field spell, and do you guys believe that we will see this card get any form of competitive play in the foreseeable future? Let me know down in the comments below, and that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more videos like this in the future, which get posted on Tuesdays and sometimes on weekends, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and follow me on all of my social media. Links will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.